We're going to learn about rhetorical devices. Rhetorical devices are another way to persuade your audience to see your side of things and a way to make a point. This is going to go along with your persuasive strategies as different ways that different tools you can use in persuasive writing. Your job as you go through this PowerPoint is to categorize the different devices. You will make up 4 categories, and you need to come up with what the names of the categories you think might be. For example, one of your categories might be omission, meaning that somehow that particular device or devices omit things to make a point. So you need to think about other categories. There will be 4 in all. One of them is omission, so I will give you that. So come up with the other 3, and you need to come to class with those categories and which rhetorical device falls into each category. Anadiplosis, doubling back, the rhetorical repetition of one or several words, specifically repetition of a word that ends one clause at the beginning of the next. So, men in great places are thrice servants, servants of the sovereign or state, servants of fame, and servants of business. We know that this one has to do with repetition, and there's definitely a word that gets repeated. Anaphora, the repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of successive phrases, clause, or lines. You will have to understand your syntax, so if there's something you need to look up, you need to make sure you go on Google because you're looking at dependent and independent clauses. So we're looking at the repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of successive phrases. And it's underlined here. We shall not flag, we shall fight, we shall fight, we shall defend, we shall fight. So you have something that's being repeated. Epistrophe, repetition of the same word or phrase at the end of successive clauses. Parallelism, to use identical sentence or phrase patterns to express ideas that are closely related. Parallel construction is always a vital and powerful tool of oral communication. It makes your random ideas fit together better in the minds of your listeners. Why is that? Antithesis, opposition or contrast of ideas or words in a balanced or parallel construction. Ascendaton, lack of conjunctions between coordinate phrases, clauses, or words. Again, you are going to see grammar pop up in a lot of these rhetorical devices. So we're looking at independent and dependent clauses and phrases, and then we're also looking at conjunctions. And we have Schoolhouse Rock, conjunction, junction, what's your function? If you don't know what it means, look it up. Polysyndeton, it's a use of a conjunction between each word, phrase, or clause, and is thus structurally the opposite of asyndeton. So now we're looking at the use of conjunctions. Hypophora, consists of raising one or more questions and then proceeding to answer them, usually at some length. A common usage is to ask the question at the beginning of a paragraph and then use that paragraph to answer it. Sometimes it could be rhetorical questions, sometimes not. Rhetorical questions is also a rhetorical device. Euphemism, substitution of an agreeable or at least non-offensive expression for one whose plainer meaning might be harsh or unpleasant. So the examples we have are a euphemism for stupid, a few fries short of a Happy Meal, a few bricks short of a load, one Fruit Loop shy of a full bowl. So it's going to take something unpleasant and make it a little bit more agreeable. But if you're calling someone stupid, it's usually not. So again, your job is to categorize these rhetorical devices into 4 different categories, come up with the name. I did give you one of them, which is omission, and then put the rhetorical devices within the categories. Bring these to class tomorrow so that we can discuss.